This is the daily. 265 on fairway, 608 and 861. 1,469 cars per day by my house. That's not my number.
Let's give the mayor a few more minutes, folks.
Next squeeze by you, sir? Oh, yes, I'm sorry. There's several resolutions, but this is unfair and it's against the law. And by the way, one of the things what you said was the order legal, which is a tricky thing to do. Yes, you put the order for a temporary barricade, not to close the road. So you just took it upon themselves to close the road. And you can't do that. Got to meet all the requirements. Yeah.
The May 10th, 2022 Committee on Ways and Means is now called to order. I'll call in Councilmember Brady for our invocation. Councilmember Brady.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. If we could all bow our heads. Dear Heavenly Father, we pray for your guidance and wisdom as we seek to improve the lives of our fellow citizens. We also pray for our friends in Ukraine who are battling a terrible injustice, and that democracy in Ukraine will prevail. I pray that you will guide our decisions tonight and that we may secure the blessings of liberty for Charleston, not just for us, but for our future posterity. Amen.
Any discussion? If not, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
The ayes have it. Bids and purchases.
Second.
Moved and properly seconded. Any discussion on bids and purchases? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Item 4, budget, finance, and revenue collections, an ordinance to make additional appropriations to meet the liability.
Mr. Chairman, we can do 4, 5, and 6.
Okay. Do I hear a
If
second?
you don't have any objection.
Moved and properly seconded. Wait a minute. You said 4, 5. Let's do 4.
Okay.
Can everyone please use their microphones? That way we can pick you up on
4 and
YouTube.
5. I'll make a motion for 4 and 5.
It's been moved and properly seconded. Any discussion on items 4 and 5? If not, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
The ayes have it. Item 6, budget and finance and revenue collections.
Second.
Any discussion?
Mr. Chairman.
Mr. Mayor?
Here from Charleston Water Service, and I just thought, given the size of this bond offering, that we asked Russell Huggins, who's the capital projects officer with Charleston Water Service, to come and give us a quick synopsis of where they're investing all these improvements for our city.
Okay, just $170 million, that's all. Welcome.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. No, 170 million is not a typo, unfortunately. Thank you. I appreciate this opportunity. As the mayor said, my name is Russell Huggins. I'm the capital projects officer for Charleston Water System. We appreciate this opportunity. We've been working on this plan for quite a while. I think as city council is aware, we put a lot of effort into master planning for all our utilities at Charleston, both our water and our wastewater utilities. And this master plan or this request for bond funding really represents the most significant projects that have come out of those master plans. The $170 million we're requesting here approval for today is evenly split, pretty evenly between both our water and our wastewater utility. And I just want to kind of highlight a couple of the most significant projects. The first one being expansion of our Hanahan water treatment plant. Its current capacity right now is 115 MGD. Based on master planning efforts, we anticipate reaching peak day demand at at Hanahan. That new number is going to be at 127 MGD by 2034. So our plan is to go ahead and start doing expansion of that capacity at Hanahan now. So we'll be able to meet those projected demands that are anticipated to occur in 2034. We're also looking at extending new 36-inch transmission main from North Charleston down to Peninsula Charleston. This will serve as the third point of connection to Peninsula Charleston, which will allow us to be able to provide water service and fire protection that we're seeing from resulting from increased development within the peninsula. We're also looking at extension of our West Ashley sewer tunnel. As most of you know, we have a network of deep sewer tunnels within the peninsula. We also have a sewer tunnel right now that terminates at Porter-Gaud at the Krogan shaft. We're looking at extending that tunnel up to pump station 77, which is along the Greenway, located near Stinson Drive. So that tunnel will be sized to carry the projected flow for the entire West Ashley area. We also bring all the flow from Johns Island also flows into that tunnel. So it's a very significant project for us. It gets that wastewater out of ductile iron force mains and now currently run down the Greenway. They're always at risk of failure. So it's a safety reason for us as well and a reliability issue. We also have plans to construct new solids handling facilities out at our Plum Island wastewater treatment plant. The biosolids are the solids that settle out during the treatment process. Those have to be processed and they ultimately have to be disposed. Our current biosolids facilities out there are, I'll say, failing, mostly as a result of the environmental conditions out there, corrosion. So we're looking at building new facilities out there. It'll increase our efficiency and reduce our cost for disposal of those solids. Be happy to answer any questions you may have.
It's a wonderful relationship we have, the city has with Charleston Water Systems. They have a AAA bond rating, and so does this city. I don't know if I have the words to describe the millions of dollars that saves the taxpayer. The management, the financial management on bonding, obviously utility companies, whether it's wastewater, water, whether it's electric utilities, living in the bond market is part of life. They sped this up because of the rising interest rates to get this $170 million to market as expedient as they could. And I mean, it's just one of those things that you don't pay attention to, but if we don't have it, the cost goes up for everybody. One project that he did not touch on, and Russell, if you would, the big old water line that's coming down to serve Laurel Island.
Yeah, I did mention that, Councilman Warren. Okay. That is the 36-inch transmission main that'll be the third point of connection.
And how far CWS is bringing that to come down?
It's about a 6-mile total route up at Eubank Street, up in North Charleston, Eubank and Sproul Avenue, all the way down to the Nassau Street ground storage tank. Right now, we have a pair of 24-inch 1920s vintage transmission mains that serve the peninsula. They serve us well.
That's right.
But they're critical infrastructure for us, and this third fee will obviously reinforce that.
But for that capital project, Laurel Island wouldn't be able to be developed. If you show me a city that's not growing, I'll show you a city in decline. And certainly we anything but being in decline. So it's a wonderful ally. And I think I know what to do with this one.
We've been doing this for some time. Councilmember Ross and then Councilmember.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. And I just wanted to give a special shout out to Charleston Water Systems. My district runs through the majority of the West Ashley Greenway, which, as was just mentioned, is the major sewer tunnel and utility for not only West Ashley, but also John's Island. And it also happens to, of course, be the recreational asset that we all know and love, the West Ashley Greenway. And, you know, when I was running for office back in the fall of 2019, it feels like it was about a decade ago. One of the issues that I talked about often in the campaign were our sanitary sewer overflows that we had. The area behind South Windermere Shopping Center and along Burns Downs happens to be the lowest part of West Ashley. And so when we would have major groundwater intrusion and other issues, we would have, you know, sewage overflows. And due to the investments by Charleston Water Systems, many of which have already been built and incorporated the new pump system, things of that nature, those issues have dramatically declined. And I think that once these additional deep tunneling projects get underway, we will get to a point where those issues will be a thing of the past. And I just wanted to not let this moment go without recognizing Charleston Water Systems for that, and just how much my constituents, both the businesses and residences in that part of West Ashley, appreciate the investment and commitment to solving that problem. And just wanted to say thanks.
Thank you.
Councilmember Shea.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. And several months ago, Councilman Moore and I were talking about our budget, and we're having a general discussion about our budget. So to sort of put this in perspective, our city budget is 220 million. City, this is $170 million bond. So the scope of this is really enormous, but it's also very important. And I just want to give another thanks to our partners, because they have been wonderful partners with some of the projects we've been discussing all throughout the city. And echo what Councilman Rappel just said. When I got on city council in 2016, I knew there were issues dealing with flooding problems. But when it comes to flooding and these rain bombs that happen, particularly, and we were talking about this earlier with some of the representatives on who are here with us tonight, that the impact it has on infiltrating the sewer system and what it causes, these are livability issues. These are really basic livability issues. And you would think that in West Ashley, these would not be that big of a deal because we're quote unquote newer than we are on the peninsula. But the projects over there have some catching up to do. And I know I've got a couple of projects in West Ashley all working on. I appreciate that very, very much.
Yes.
And, but I think that, and I'm glad we're taking a pause on having this discussion, because I think the public needs us to hear from us and from our partners, the impact that this is going to have on our livability with the city of Charleston. So thank you all for all cooperation and fine work with all of us.
Yes, sir.
Any more questions?
One last thing, if we can just get the management team to stand, Ken Hill and Mark and Wesley Roth and legal team and all that. I'm telling you, man, this is a Fortune 500 style company running over this.
Thank you very much. I mean, this. And this has been what, a 28-year relationship, and we're looking forward to another 28 years. Because what you guys do is just unbelievable in terms of public safety.
Thank you for saying that.
Thank you very much.
Yes, sir.
Any further discussion on this item? If not, all in favor, say aye. The ayes have it. Item 7, moved and properly seconded. Any discussion on the item 7? If not, all in favor, say aye. Item 8.
Move to take 8 and 9 together.
Second.
Do I hear a motion for approval of 8 and 9? Any discussion? If not, all in favor of 8 and 9, say aye. Item 10. Moved and properly seconded. Any discussion on item 10? If not, all in favor, say aye. Item 11. Parks Capital Projects Approval for resolution to commit it.
Move for approval.
Any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
The
Nay.
ayes have it. Item 12.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Item 13.
Move for approval.
Moved and properly seconded. Any discussion on item 13? It's the Church Creek stormwater management. Yes.
We give you the opportunity.
Can't pass this up. We talked about this in the Public Works meeting yesterday, and somebody said it was in my backyard. Well, actually, it's basically in my front yard. And I cannot reiterate enough that I'm sure anybody who doesn't represent folks on the peninsula hears all the time that all of the city's money is getting spent on the peninsula. All of our energy is going to the peninsula. And, these things come up, and I am an evangelist out there to say that we can walk and chew bubble gum at the same time. And it's just great to be able to send out an email like I did to my constituents this week saying that feels like it's District 10 week at City Council. And so I will wholeheartedly vote in favor of this.
Okay. Any more discussion? Happy District 10 week. All in favor, say aye. Aye. The ayes have it. Item 14.
Move to take 14 and 15 together.
Yes. Moved and properly seconded. All in favor of approving items 14 and 15, say aye.
Aye.
The ayes have it. I will call on Chairman Appel.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. The Real Estate Committee met yesterday afternoon at 3 o'clock. And while we didn't break any records in terms of speed, we moved through our agenda pretty expeditiously. First item was a utility easement involving the William Enston homes downtown off of Hugie Street. This was the product of some good negotiations and cooperation between the city of Charleston and the Housing Authority. And the price that the city of Charleston paid for this easement is pretty outstanding. Mayor Tecklenburg, do you remember what the price was for that? His favorite price, free. So we really got a great result there. And as some others had pointed out at the meeting, the pump station might not be as cheap, but at least we're off to a good start with the easement. Exactly. Oh, and it's going to be the most beautiful pump station you've ever seen. Apparently that goes through the BAR in the city of Charleston. So the next 4 items on our agenda all had to do with Piccolo Spoleto, involving various facility use agreements involving city property. And we had a great presentation about that. And we're very much looking forward to a normal Spoleto season this summer. And all of that passed unanimously. Then we considered another utility easement involving 17 Lockwood Drive, the city marina. That passed as well. And then finally, there was a resolution committing the city's Greenbelt funds allocated for the Fort Pemberton Public Access Improvement Project over in my district, over in Riverland Terrace. And that passed unanimously as well. And we are well underway, the sort of first phase of that park project over there, beginning to sort of get a concept plan together regarding what we want to do. And we're very excited about that project over on James Island, because anytime we can provide public access to the water here in the city of Charleston, that is an absolute win-win all the way around. And finally, we considered 3 annexations, one of which was along Fort Pemberton Drive over in Riverland Terrace over in District 11. And then the other 2 properties were over in Councilman Shade's district over in District 9. And maybe if Councilmember Shade is okay, maybe if you don't mind giving a little talk about the Wells Fargo. You had some interesting background on that.
So it was Aubrey Alexander. Oh, there he is. So my predecessor, Ms. Alexander, I just want to give a big shout out. He has been still very active in the community, and I appreciate his cooperation with us on this particular project. So several months ago, there was a request to demolish some land over on St. Andrews Boulevard to make room for a Parker's Kitchen gas station off of Playground Road and St. Andrews. I got denied. And in our conversations with those representatives, we were pushing, or hopefully that we'd be looking at this property, which is a Wells Fargo bank building on the corner of Sam Rittenberg and St. Andrews Boulevard. And so Ms. Alexander called me earlier last week to talk to me about this project. So this is, I think, Aubrey, a look through at this point. And you, come on. hate to put you on the spot, but you got all dressed up to come down here, so we wanted to say hi.
This is like data drew all over again. So what was your question, Councilmember Shea?
Any comment you want to make about the project for these two
Well,
projects?
I think in city council, I mean, you're aware we pick up property tax. We put a great retail center there. So now you're looking at business licensing tax, you're looking at sales tax. It starts to contribute to the community rather than be a vacant site. Parker's has been a great partner in District 9. Peter can share that with you. They do a great business and their fried chicken is excellent. So anyway, thank you.
So we're hoping that this works out for them to locate a new facility, which is taking an unused, abandoned piece of property, as Mr. Alexander just mentioned, to something that's productive. And I tried to convince him to tie in the Burger King across the street in Councilmember Waring's district, because that's another spot we need to be focusing our attention on in the near future. So I appreciate the opportunity to make some comments about that and looking forward to this annexation and then moving forward. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilman Shade. And one other point, we also heard yesterday from Molly Jones, who's our new annexation coordinator. And to my colleagues, if you haven't had an opportunity to meet Ms. Jones yet, she's outstanding. She's taken the bull by the horns and really helping us try to get some of these donut holes eaten up in the city of Charleston. So I encourage you all to reach out to her. And with that, that concludes my report. Thank you.
Is there a motion for approval?
Move to approve.
Second.
Moving properly seconded. On item A, Ensign Homes. It's such a beautiful project. And the city of Charleston over the years has invested substantially, especially on the new construction units. And I'm just saying that to say that there's nothing free. We can leverage. And I think that was great leveraging because the city does have a substantial investment there. All in favor say aye. Aye. The ayes have it. Is there anything else to come before this committee? If not,